Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Albums and Memories, where I talk about albums that I have and I talk about the memories they gave me. Now we're on the last pile of albums I have right now, and we are going to talk about Gorillaz' Demon Days and Chaos's Joyful Rebellion. Two albums which I bought in grade 9, and two albums which introduced me to different genres because they blend them in so nicely. Now, first we're going to talk about Gorillaz' Demon Days. This album I bought in grade 9, and it actually introduced me to a lot of new things. For example, when I heard Feel Good Inc. for the first time, I was just pretty much blown away by it. The fact that a song like that could actually have hip hop elements and with a dark groove to it actually pretty much got me interested. And every time it was on the radio, this particular radio, not like R&B and hip hop stations, that's it gave me my attention. That brought me my attention. I just stopped what I do and I just listened to the song, and I just kept going for it. And then eventually, I actually ended up buying this album because this is the second album I ever bought on my own. First was Julie Black's "This Is Me," but this is actually my favorite Gorillaz album so far. And I'm just surprised about the fact that there are so many collaborations. Like, okay, later Gorillaz albums actually have that criticized for having collaborations, but this one there's collaborations, but they don't overwhelm everything. It's more along the lines of like they're there, but they actually have a point, and but it's still Gorillaz. It's still Gorillaz. Unlike a song like on their Plastic Beach album, which is a song called Sweepstakes, which is pretty much a Most Def album or a Most Def song. You don't even know if you actually listen to the song on its own, you won't even think it was a Gorilla song. It was just Most Def actually having a single or something. But this, everybody's involved. Like Damon Albarn is involved with the product, like the every single song, and it feels like natural. And the thing is, I remember in grade 9 I put this on, but every time I put it on, I would listen. I would play this while I was playing a demo for Dark Watch for PS2, and I put this on and I skipped all the way to Dirty Harry, which is actually quite funny because it's a western. Dark Watch is kind of a western, and Dirty Harry, is Clint Eastwood, and his most famous movies earlier on were like westerns. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty good. And like this album holds up so well that I don't even have the CD in the case. Like I have it in the CD case that I have with a bunch of CDs. So this album came out in 2005, and it's still in that CD case. Like right now, that's how much it holds up. It's still there, and this is the second copy I ever got or bought because my first copy skipped because I played it. I either played it so much or my sister kept jumping and the CD just kept skipping. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna buy this. And at one point, I used to have a DVD concert of the entire album, like like every single Demon Days live, I think, but then I gave it away because I didn't watch it anymore. I liked it okay. I was just kind of thrown off about the whole orchestral thing. Like this was back when I wasn't really like an orchestral guy. It was more like whatever. It's like whatever. I mean the songs are good, but I'd rather just listen to the studio album, and it was fine. This was actually really fine. It's actually really interesting. If I ever listen to this, I want to actually listen to this later on after I do this episode because, quite frankly, I haven't heard this in a while. But I know from the last time I heard this, it actually does hold up, and I want to like continue listening to this. And I think this is their best album, considering all things considering, because this is their darkest album, but at the same time, it's so damn catchy. Like I like looking at this right now, I haven't listened to this in a couple of years, but I know, an album is doing something right when you don't listen to an album for like a year or so, but you in your head know exactly which song is like in the track listing by order. And I still do that. I still have that. To this and a few other albums, most recently the 8 Mile soundtrack, surprisingly. And but yeah, this is actually a really nice album. My God, I haven't looked at the book cover in a while, but yeah, if you haven't checked it out, go check this album out. This is actually a really good album. And the other album I want to talk about is Joy for Rebellion by Chaos. You see this album right here. This right here is my favorite album ever, ever. And it's been that way since I got this in grade 9. So this was 2005. My mom thinks, and I would like to thank both my sister and the game for this, because I remember let's cut back to 2002. I was talking about the Eminem show a few episodes back, and I was talking about how in 2002 I wanted that album. I wanted it, but my dad didn't want me to get it because there was so much swearing and it was parental advisory. And I eventually got the 8 Mile soundtrack because it was sold out. You couldn't find it anywhere. And so she gave me the 8 Mile soundtrack, and I just desperately wanted that Eminem show for 2 years. And then in grade 7, I was it was in summer school, and I heard a song called B-Boy Stance. And I was looking at the video, it was on the video, Much More Music, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, holy crap. And instantly, I pretty much forgot about the Eminem show. I'm like, oh my god, I love this song. And I'm like, anytime I saw that video, I just went crazy. I just went nuts. I'm like, this song is amazing. It was pretty much like moshing. In my opinion, that was how I moshed. Just going at it, just going nuts. And eventually, songs like Crab Bucket and Man I Used to Be actually came along, and everybody knew who he was. And those were pretty much the only 2 songs from this album that everybody knows. And then it turned from me wanting the Eminem show to wanting this album. And I'm like, I'm gonna get it eventually. I really want to get this album. And then one day in grade 9, my mom pulled me out of class because she needed help to get a CD for my sister for a gift exchange. And she wanted to say, okay, here's a CD, something called The Game, the documentary. And I'm like, okay, I'll help you. And then I got it, and it said 2 for $20, $20. And she's like, all right, it says 2 for 20. You want to get a CD? I'm like, okay. And I was like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And I looked for it at HMV, and I was like, 2 for 20. I'm like, yes, yes. And I actually yes, yes, yes. So I'd like to thank my sister and her gift exchange for that day and the game for that. I'm like, yes, I got it. And I ended up listening to it. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm like MC Murda. I'm like, okay, this is actually really good. I blasted this when I got home. I blasted this CD out loud. Then I got to Crucial, and I got Man I Used to Be, then Crab Bucket, and then I forgot about B-Boy Stance after a while. And I heard B-Boy Stance, I'm like, oh my god, I totally forgot about this song. I'm like, yes. And this album introduced me to so much. It's so good that it actually caused me not to think about Eminem for almost 10 years. I heard Eminem, hear Eminem, yeah, sure, but this album is my favorite because it caused me to, look at different types of genres differently. It actually inspired me to, go out, with Demon Days, but actually much more. A little bit more. It introduced me to funk, it introduced me to pop, it introduced me to, jazz. There's actually funk, punk, rock influences, and there are softer acoustic influences, and there's beats, there's hip hop beats, sure, but how he blends different genres got to me, and it inspired me to actually become something else. This album is an inspiration to me. That's why it's my favorite album. It actually and I don't listen to this album much anymore because I don't want to ruin that moment. I'll listen to it occasionally, but this is an album that actually turned me kind of into a better person. I do really enjoy every single song on this album. Sometimes I actually do skip more of the songs. I like Man I Used to Be. I like Crab Bucket. It's just that I heard them so much because of the radio and how kind of overplayed they got. It's like, okay, I have to skip them because the rest of the album is that good. And I appreciate how underrated it is because, I remember, a while ago, my dad actually asked, whatever happened to Chaos? And I'm like, I didn't want to tell him because he is still making music. It's just that everybody's just so interested in Drake and whatnot that it's like, Chaos has fell under the radar. And I don't think radio would actually like play people who are more alternative, like alternative hip hop as Chaos is. And but this is my personal favorite album. It's not anyone else's. Like, it's my number one favorite album ever. It actually got me to like grow into the person that I want to be. It inspired me in many ways. I'll get more into it, the album that came out after, because that inspired me too. But this actually came first, and there's not much memories. It's just that I just love this album because it actually goes into different genres, and it's beautiful, and it's all the more worthy for it. And I am so glad I got this album in my hand, and enough to make me actually think that the Eminem Show was okay, because this is much more superior. I like the Eminem Show fine. It's just that this particular album is just beautiful to me. It's entirely beautiful. And like Gorilla's Demon Days, it's still in my other CD case. It's in my like CD case booklet. It's still there. That's how good it is to me. In my opinion, this is my favorite album. It's so good at what it does, and it never overstates its welcome. It's actually a really creative process. Everything about it is creative. It inspired me to be creative about everything I want to do, and it's just amazing. It's actually quite amazing to see a lot put into it. And if you've never listened to this album, just listen to it. If you're a hip hop fan or a rock fan, just listen to it. It's beautiful in my opinion. The music it pretty much still holds up. I don't even know why it's on. It's a memory. It's a memory because it's my favorite album. I am passionate about this album. I give I give Chaos mad props for just coming out of nowhere with this 2004 album and just giving what I didn't think I would ever have. So thank you, Chaos, for just giving me this amazing, in my opinion, groundbreaking album. And thank you, Gorillas, for actually introducing me to more genres. So these two introduced me to a lot more, much more easier, like in terms of genres. Oh my God, this is actually a really good like thing. So and they're both released by EMI, so good on you. So that's another episode of Albums and Memories, and I'll see you another time. Thank you.